Welcome back, everybody. This is gonna be a good video, something I've been wanting to make. Gonna be a good video. It's gonna be a good mail day, I should say. You may not like the whole video, but hit me up. I've got some ideas, some things on my mind. This mail day is gonna blow your mind, and I'm happy you get to share it with me. But the main topic I want to talk about while I blow your mind with my amazing mail day is something about the economy and the game and my thoughts on it. So the most chatter you see, the most when people talk about the economy of the game, we're talking about the pricing of things and the values, and there's a natural desire for stuff to go up, which is fine. I'm not saying it's unhealthy, but hear me out. To grow the game, and that's probably one of the bigger problems that the game faces is... All right, check this out. I've never seen that playmat before. Have you seen that playmat before? We'll get there. We'll show it. All right, so this is what I want to talk about. The game, someone made a comment yesterday, another content creator. I wish I could tell you which one. I've forgotten, but I will. Ooh, this one's a good one too. Look at that. Look at that. The game, no one's ever sat down. Oh, that's right. It was Arsenal Pass. It was Hayden Dale. I would love to call Hayden Dale a friend, but I don't know him that well. But I see Hayden around, and we're very friendly. I bought some stuff of Hayden. He said, no one's ever sat down and played Flesh and Blood and gone, I don't like this game. The problem the game faces is not how good it is. It's getting people in front of it, getting people to play it. So I want to talk about that. A few tips. Let's not get too complicated. This is what I try and do. So I'm opening a mail day. I'm opening some stuff I've bought from people. People in the community are great. And I think because I'm privileged to be sort of a little public these days, as like a public figure or someone that people might recognize as someone in the community, I get some pretty sweet deals. I get some offers of stuff that don't exist on the market or don't ever hit the market. It's just like, hey, Fluke, do you want to buy this? Would you like to put this on your channel? Would you, so these are some promo cards. There's some tape. I don't like the tape. If you're sending me stuff, keep that in mind. But not a big deal. It's just those end up in the bin now that they've got some tape glue on them. So this was part of a trade I did for my eye of a video. If you're watching this video and you do market updates, don't use this as a data point. I'm not an accurate data point. The reason is, like I said, I'm a bit public. So I traded quite a lot of, I got traded, and there's Mr. Rudy. I traded my eye of a video for a whole lot of Crucible first edition boxes and all this stuff that you see. The trade is very even, I would say, like in my opinion, but if you look at the market update stuff, you would think that I got an amazing deal, but I don't think so. I think I would have held on to my eye of a video, but this particular gentleman who will probably post and introduce himself is from Germany. But let me explain. That's part of this trade. So we agreed on a trade. But in that same vein of us agreeing on a trade, I realized that this German Flesh and Blood fan, he's a fan of mine. I'm talking about being a fan of the game. His LGS never got to draft WTR, and I don't know if they could even get their hands on WTR. So what I did was I sent them some WTR boxes. So I already thought the trade was even. So I think inside it's like been vac sealed, sort of. Like an extra wrapping on the box to protect it. That's cool. Warning, keep away from small children. This thing, okay. Maybe the store they bought it from had... Very cool. And I'll show you these playmats. So here's my point. I added some value to this gentleman to promote the game. So if I'm going to get involved in a transaction, I always try to grow the game while I'm doing it. In this case, I sent 3 WTR unlimited booster boxes to this gentleman to share with the LGS he plays at, to draft it, to give themselves that experience, right? Again, I'm in a privileged position. I have a lot of stock, and where I can, if I know it's new players, I will try and promote. Another example is me using this playmat. Mark from BDDDE. There's no incentive for me to share his channel, but he's in the community. He spends money on the game. Hopefully this video gets a lot of hits because I'm going to open some really cool stuff. And hopefully he gets some love out of it too. Why? Because it's promoting the game. It will help him grow his channel. He's got aspirations to build his YouTube channel into a large enough passive income that he can move back to Japan and do some things in his life. Want to help him. Another example while I open this next pack is someone in Japan, funnily enough, wanted a Crucible first edition box. He was paying like $50 over market. So I'm like, look, I recently got like 30 something Crucible first edition boxes, and I got them from close friends and stuff. So I got them at a pretty good deal. That's cool. And when I found out, so I clicked the guy's Facebook profile because I'm doing like a reference check type thing for myself, even though he's the buyer. I found out he only started playing the game recently, and I said, hey man, like, what's your favorite character? And he said it's he told me it was Dash or Mechanologist. He can see that it's a bit complicated to play, but he's interested in learning it. I packed up the crew box, and like I said, he probably overpaid by about $50. And when I say overpaid, I wouldn't have sold him the box if it was market. I sold it because it was slightly over market. Some first edition legendaries and an alpha tunic. Amazing cards. You never have enough of these. Like I said, I do not buy many singles, but if someone messages me and gives me a insane deal on them, you better believe I'll pick them up. Which tunic, in my opinion, is the card in Flesh and Blood to collect. That's just my opinion. So alpha tunics are super rare, and I'm more than willing. Now, before I get back to my point, this is like burn damage. I don't know if someone's tried to access this by like melting it or something. I don't really know what happened here. It is worrying me because of the value of what's in this pack. I don't think this has anything to do with the person that sent it. I'll remove some of this paperwork with personal info on it. Here's my point. The Mechanologist guy that I sent the Crucible box to Japan, I knew I had a, like, funny story, I had a Teklo Foundry pistol, I think it's called, the not good Mechanologist weapon, but it's in cold for. It's a nice little Mechanologist collector piece. I added it to the box. It's worth about $50. I didn't pay for that because someone gifted it to me and I gifted it to him. And as a new player getting a cold foil in the mail, that will only help him stay in the game or continue playing or have a good view of the community as a whole. In my local scene, we do the same. Every Christmas mat I won, so I got voted as People's Champion and got given a Christmas mat. But then every event I'd go to when I'd win, and I ended up winning 3 mats, that is not the events, I gave them to the newest player in the room that didn't have a mat or didn't have the Christmas mat. Ryan, who plays a lot, never got a Christmas mat. So at the very last event of the year, me and Brent and a few other friends, we made sure we agreed whoever got the Christmas mat, give it to Ryan. Promos are free. Mats are free. We focus too much on selling them, the price of them. And don't get me wrong, you might have to do that to continue the hobby. It might be part of the economics for you is to continue buying stuff in the hobby and to play competitively. You have to. Fine. But where you can, use those to grow the game. We went and taught a couple of new players, which the video you can watch before this was a couple of Tall Timmy's friends that had never played Fab. I gave them a Christmas bauble each, and I had an infinite amount of double up playmats. So instead of doing a giveaway on my YouTube channel, I gave these 2 new players Alpha Rampage playmats to play on. I didn't pay retail for those playmats. Again, that gift has a selfish motivation a little bit. It's to keep them playing. It's to go, dude, like the first experience we had in this game was not getting smashed at an event, or the first experience wasn't you know, missing out on a playmat. The first experience was everyone's generous. Everyone wants us to succeed. Everyone wants to help us get started. If you didn't pay for your mats, if you didn't pay for your promos, remember that. If you don't particularly need the money, maybe use those to give them away. Someone on the fan page recently said the game needs more marketing. Fucking oath it needs more marketing. But that's not only LSS's job. You get promos from LSS for free. Give them away. Pass it forward. Do your best to create that environment in your local scene. It will grow the game. As content creators, we should be giving free shout-outs. This is a free shout-out. I don't want him to shout me out. I don't need anything from him. BDDDE, Mark, he's got aspirations to be an unboxing YouTuber and maybe do other content. He's a player in my local scene. Go subscribe to him. It's free. It grows his channel. Maybe his channel recruits more players. Do you get what I mean? You want to grow the game, stop trying to sell your stuff at the top price is what I'm trying to say. Stop trying to maximize. Some people might have a different opinion of me where they think I want everything to be the highest price possible. I'm not even going to address that because it's stupid. Because if you watch this channel, I clearly spend way more money than I'll ever make back. It's fun. It's a hobby. But the part of it is, if I get promos for free, I give them away. If I buy a big collection and I get some playmats, like theoretically speaking, I have not paid for these playmats. I do not have these playmats. But if someone tells me their favorite playmat on earth is one of those, I will most likely give it to them. And no, everyone watching this video, if you message me, you're not going to get a free playmat. That's not the point I'm trying to make. Do this locally. This is something I've been excited for a long time. It's my very first purchase of its kind. Like I said, I am worried about this, what looks like burn damage, because of the sheer value of the contents of this. But, all right, so the card is... But let's hope nothing is affected inside. I'm hoping not. I don't think so. It's just really weird. I've never seen that. Like, it's like it got caught in a fire or something. Or maybe someone tried to, like, melt the plastic to look inside and then has tried to, like, melt it back. I don't know. Again, I don't think this has anything to do with the seller himself. All right. It's a lot of tape. Packaging like this is good. The tape is on cardboard. It's disposable, goes in the bin. Just try your best not to tape onto like semi-rigids and stuff, because it has way more chance of ending up touching the card itself. I'm not going to ramble on about giving, but I'm just saying part of growing the game. So it looks like no damage to the actual contents, which is fine. Part of growing the game is your job. National Championship, top 8 prize, gold cold foil. I'm actually was talking to someone about buying an envelope that hasn't been opened yet. Like, they don't know what's in it. They know what set the gold foil is from. If that ever happens, I'll let you know. This is rare. And awfully expensive. But, wow. I've never seen one. I know some more of these exist, but let me tell you, it's not that many of them in the world. And this was by far my favorite legendary when it got spoiled, and by far my favorite. Man, it just, the gold foil on this card in my head was like, it's got to look amazing. So the centering is not perfect. It's hard to tell edges and stuff, but by all you know, first impressions, it's a very clean card. I don't actually care too much about the condition of this card because I really want to see this played at Nationals. I am hoping to loan it to anyone in Oldham, playing Oldham, that I know that makes it to top 8. When that stuff gets streamed, I would love... Actually, I might put this in a semi-rigid instead. I want to see this... like, these should be played. And that's why gold foil equipment is such a sick idea by LSS, because you're going to... You know what? I'm running opening channel. This is going to get opened. I think the idea would be to maybe open this with scissors, but it's very soft plastic, so yeah, there's not much point leaving it in this plastic. Let's get my hands are clean and dry. That's what the card looks like. Beautiful. It's got a massive ding at the bottom. Wow, that's not good. For grading purposes, that's not good. I'll actually have a chat too. Yeah, that's got a lot of bottom edge damage. I will talk to the seller because that's something he probably should have disclosed. Not the end of the world. Like I said, I want to see this played, the card condition itself. But then I don't know if it had to do with customs opening it either, which if they did and they've mishandled it or roughed it up, but that's pretty bad on the bottom. Like I said, though, this isn't a value purchase more than it is. I want to see this played. I want to see it. I want to see an Oldham player have this on their board while they're playing. So that's the goal with the card, why I purchased it. I think Oldham is quite strong. I think Oldham can definitely win against the meta. Oldham is obviously very defensive and very what's the card game word people use for decks that are slow? You guys know what I'm talking about. My first gold foil. I'm happy with the purchase. Not super impressed with all that damage. Like I wouldn't have cared if it's like it's a normal fab corner, but that's a bit, anyway, whatever. Like I said, that's not the intention of me buying it to begin with. It also could have been an LSS damage thing, like when they packaged it, because these things are pretty tight and not very protective. Guys, spread the love. Give away your promos and mats if you don't need them, especially to new players. You shouldn't have a new player at your event who doesn't get a mat when they leave. Even if you just go up to the counter and buy the $10, $20 basic brown flesh and blood mat. Also, when you're playing against new players, before I sign off, you really shouldn't be winning. You can win, but what I do is if someone pulls out a pre-con Bolton deck that has pre-con decks are pretty weak power-wise, I take my equipment off the board if I'm going to play my main deck, because it's not going to be fair anyway for a lot of reasons. One of them is definitely that I have 4 legendaries on the side of my board when I play, or 3 and my refraction bolters. If you are playing a brand new player, I like to have 2 pre-sleeved Ira welcome decks sitting in my box. I will usually pull those out if I match up with a new player and we play mirror. And a lot of times I lose that matchup because the mirror matchup is like whatever. It doesn't matter how good you are, I still lose that mirror Ira matchup. It's not the best deck, and new players can pick up on how to play it, especially if you're telling them how to play in the middle of it. So that's my tips on how to grow the game, on how to pull your mind out of the economical side and go like, what's a Christmas bubble worth? Well, it's not worth anything because you didn't pay for it. You paid your entry. You probably got a free pack or 2 from your local store for your entry. You might have even won the playmat and you got given a Christmas bubble promo card. Like, give that foil away. Give that, like, if someone's never owned a cold foil, give them one of your bubbles. Like, I've got 30-something Christmas bubbles. They're not an investment, even though they are. Some of it should go towards promoting the game. That's the spirit of why LSS gave it to you for free. You should follow through with that spirit and that thought process and just pass it forward. That, to me, seems simple. If I've jogged your brain and you go, you know what, that makes sense, actually, go look through your binder, all your double up promos. Someone buys a card off you. Every time someone buys a card off you, ask them some fab player questions. Hey, man, what do you play? Hey, is this for a deck? Whatever. And if they tell you, yeah, I just started, I'm buying this tunic for my Ira deck. If you've got a rainbow foil Kadachi just sitting there, it's not worth a fortune, especially if you made like a trade or a sale where you're profiting. Throw in a rainbow foil Kadachi. Ask them if they even have the reverse Kadachi from Crew. And if they don't, put one in. You don't have to put anything expensive, by the way, but ask them. Ask them what else they're looking for. Ask them to tell you their deck list and go, you know what? You don't even have a red Sync below in that. I can send you one. You don't even have a red Sigil. Like, these cards are like $1. And if you're a bigger collector or someone that started the game, you get what I mean. You can easily, every time you do a sale, add some value to that person. And if everybody did that, I think it'd have a huge impact on the game. It's the reason I wanted people to leave reviews on the Facebook page for Flesh and Blood, which I think we're up to like 250 reviews, but that's still very low. Go review Flesh and Blood on Facebook. It's silly not to. It's the same thing. Promote the game yourself. If you love the game, if you're invested in the game, the one way to grow it is to be someone who's giving more than they're taking from it. If everyone takes more than they give, the game and economy will probably die over time. If more people give more than they take, it will grow. That's my opinion. Cool. See you soon.